Good morning, everyone. Welcome on Analyst Ias platform. As we all know, our prelims examinations coming very soon, and there are very few days remaining to prepare for the current affair revision part. So, in that way, I'm going to help you out by revising December and January month environmental current affairs. So, today we will cover December 21 and January 2022 environmental current affair. So the first topic which we are going to discuss here about the Kasturi Rangan report. So though all UPSC already have asked question from Kasturi Rangan report, Gadgil report, these all committees were formed to give their suggestion how to protect Western Ghat region, because Western Ghat is biodiversity hotspot. So why this is in news? Karnataka, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, he has declared that they are not going to follow the all norms said in the committee. So Karnataka Chief Minister has informed the center that state is opposed to Kasturi Rangan committee report on Western Ghat. So first we need to revise what is Kasturi Rangan report, what all were recommendation in this report, and what was the difference between Kasturi Rangan and Gadgil report. So there is a cutting of paper. First we need to know what is the Western Ghat, where this is basically situated. So Western Ghat is basically on the western side of Indian peninsular region. So Western Ghat comprise a length of almost 1500 km. There is a length of 1500 km, with somewhere it is 10 km and somewhere it is 200 km. In Karnataka, the width of Western Ghat is maximum, it is 200 km, and the width of this Western Ghat in Gujarat is very narrow and it is only 10 km. Okay, so it spread across Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Fine. Mostly people believe that Tamil Nadu is in Eastern Ghat. No, Tamil Nadu, western part of Tamil Nadu lies in Western Ghat. And Tamil Nadu is a place where Eastern Ghat and Western Ghat in Nilgiri region, they meet with each other. So these are the basically 6 states where Western Ghat lies, and the total area of Western Ghat is 1,64,280 square kilometer. So this is a very huge area. Protected area is 16,000 square kilometer, natural landscape is 68,000 kilometer, and covered by the forest, grasslands, curves, cultural landscape is 96,000 square. So though you need not to remember this particular data, but at least remember that states where Western Ghat lies. Fine. And the place its width is maximum and width is minimum. So there were the 2 committees which were formed by the central government to give their suggestion to protect Western Ghat region. Now, what were their recommendation if we comparatively talk about? One is Gadgil report and one is Kasturi Rangan report. So Gadgil report came earlier, and Gadgil report basically set up some stringent norms. So if we talk about Union Ministry of Environment and Forest ruled in the favor of Kasturi Rangan report. So there were the 2 report, and Union government chose to follow the Kasturi Rangan report, not the Gadgil report. So the Kasturi Rangan panel has listed 4,156 villages, out of which 2,000 almost in Maharashtra, 1,500 in Karnataka, 135 villages in Tamil Nadu, 123 villages in Kerala, 99 villages in Goa and 64 in Gujarat as an eco-sensitive zone. So if you talk about the Kasturi Rangan report, it has recommended eco-sensitive villages more than 2,000, more than 4,000, out of which most of the eco-sensitive villages lies in Maharashtra, then Karnataka. Fine. So this data you can remember this time. Karnataka mein how many eco-sensitive villages were? 1,576. So, and least eco-sensitive villages were in Gujarat, which was 64. Now, Basically, Gadgil report was much stringent, setting up the much strict norm. It categorized entire Western Ghat. Gadgil report categorized entire Western Ghat, 1,29,000 square kilometer as ecological sensitive zone divided into 3 zones. Whereas with Kasturi Rangan report, sensitive area called natural landscape limited to 37% of the Western Ghat and 63% for the human settlement, plantation, agriculture and cultural landscape. So if we compare both the report, Gadgil report protect whole Western Ghat, categorizing it into ecological sensitive zone. Fine. Gadgil report recommended banning on the use of pesticide, complete ban on pesticide, genetically modified crop in the most sensitive areas, also called for the total ban of quarrying. Quarrying means जब हम minerals को कुरेद के निकालते हैं, this is called quarrying. So quarrying, dam were to be decommissioned, plantations to be changed gradually to the natural forest. So here any kind of commercial activity restricted by the Gadgil's recommendation. Whereas if we talk about Kasturi Rangan report, mining, red category industries like thermal power plants, building over 20,000 square meter in natural landscape, hydrological project, they all were allowed. So in Kasturi Rangan report, we see that less stringent, strict norms were there. Gadgil report recommended a national authority to observe the conservation of Western Ghat, and Gadgil report said that there should be a crucial role of center. Fine. So if we see that Gadgil report is much stringent and Kasturi Rangan report gave some relaxation, but at the same time now Karnataka became the first state which is denying to imply the recommendation of Kasturi Rangan report, whereas Kasturi Rangan report gives so many authorities to central government and state government, like mining and some activities should be allowed. So that is why this report was in news. So you need to comparatively remember few points. Fine. Coming on to the next topic, it is new dinosaur species. New dinosaur species were discovered. So first you need to know where it was basically discovered, what name it is given to, क्या नाम इसको दिया गया है. So its name is Isi sanic. Isi sanic is the new dinosaur species recently discovered. And where it was discovered? It is discovered in Greenland, where it is believed to be reside 240 million years ago. So this dinosaur species Isi sanic discovered in Greenland, it was a medium size long-necked herbivore dinosaur. So you can remember this Isi sanic discovered in Greenland from prelims point of view only. Maybe UPSC ask few factual thing. Now next topic is green hydrogen microgrid project. So this is one important topic. I feel this year UPSC will ask something from hydrogen, because government of India pushing up hydrogen as a future fuel, and we have so many project over green hydrogen. So maybe they ask question from green hydrogen, blue hydrogen, gray hydrogen. So this kind of question may ask. So what is green hydrogen microgrid project? So this is India's first, one of the world's largest green hydrogen microgrid project to be set up in Simhadri, Visakhapatnam. So from prelims point of view, you need to remember this fact. So India's first and world largest green hydrogen microgrid project is being set up in Simhadri, Visakhapatnam, which is in Andhra Pradesh. Fine. So this fact you need to remember. So this is India's first green hydrogen based energy storage project. This would be will meet up India's hydrogen need as a fuel. So first we need to understand the term what is hydrogen economy and what is green hydrogen. So when we talk about hydrogen economy is the vision of using hydrogen, which is low carbon energy source, like fueling up our vehicle with the hydrogen, producing electricity with the hydrogen. Because if we see that in universe, all the stars are primarily formed by the hydrogen, and once nuclear fusion of hydrogen is done, then other elements are formed and the fusion of other elements will happen. So hydrogen is the primarily fuel of the universe, not only the earth, it is a primarily fuel, not only the stars, it is a primarily fuel of the universe, and we have plenty of the amount hydrogen available on every planet and every star. So hydrogen is the most abundant chemical substance in the universe. It is one problem is that it is not found in the pure form on the earth. So we have to get it pured first thing. So it must be produced from other compounds such as natural gas, biomass, alcohol and water. Like water is H2O, we can extract hydrogen from here. Fine. So we can extract hydrogen from here, then the hydrogen can directly used as a fuel. Now at standard temperature pressure, hydrogen is a non-toxic. The best part it is a non-toxic, non-metallic, odorless and tasteless, colorless, highly combustible gas. So it has a huge potential of becoming a fuel of future. So the fuel produced from the fossil fuel, it is called grey hydrogen. So there are a few names like grey hydrogen, blue hydrogen, green hydrogen. So first thing, when we extract hydrogen like from water, we extract hydrogen from natural gas. So from anywhere we extract hydrogen through the process of hydrolysis, we need some energy. Fine, we need some energy. Hydrogen fuel cells are made where using the electricity we separate the hydrogen with other element, because hydrogen is found with a compound. So if from the water we have to separate the hydrogen from the water, we need electricity. So this electricity which we are using to separate or to get the hydrogen, if this electricity it is produced from the fossil fuel, like we are burning coal and producing the electricity, and through that electricity we are doing the hydrolysis process and through which we are getting the hydrogen. Fine. So अगर वो electricity fossil fuel burn करके आ रही है, that hydrogen will call the grey hydrogen. Fine. If that electricity, this electricity comes from fossil fuel, and through this, using this electricity, we are performing the hydrolysis process and we are getting hydrogen. Then this hydrogen will be called grey hydrogen. This will be called grey hydrogen. If fuel produced from fossil fuel with carbon capture and storage option, like here we are burning the fossil fuel, coal we are burning, but we are not capturing the carbon emitted by the burning process. But here if we are burning the coal and we capture the carbon, कोल को बर्न करने के बाद जो भी कार्बन एमिट होता है, if you capture the carbon and using that electricity to produce hydrogen, that hydrogen will be called blue hydrogen. So we see that producing grey hydrogen creates maximum footprint. Footprint means आपके काम से कितना कार्बन निकल रहा है. तो हाइड्रोजन निकालने के प्रोसेस में अगर हम फॉसिल फ्यूल को बर्न करते हैं और उसमें से बहुत ज्यादा कार्बन निकलता है, दैट वो ग्रे हाइड्रोजन होगा. और अगर हम कार्बन को कैप्चर कर लेते हैं एंड वी स्टोर द कार्बन, दैट मींस दैट विल बी द ब्लू हाइड्रोजन. इन द प्रोसेस, in the same process of producing hydrogen, if we use renewable energy like solar power, wind power, or any kind of renewable energy which do not produce any footprint, carbon footprint, that hydrogen will be called green hydrogen. So at least remember these. Some pink hydrogen is also, but these are the three major. So these are basically fine. So remember where it is being set up. So what is green hydrogen? I have told you, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen using electrolyzer powered by renewable energy. So जो electrolyzer इसमें use होगा वो कैसे powered होगा? Renewable energy से powered होगा, wind and solar. That hydrogen will be called green hydrogen. Fine. So you have to remember this. ये question definitely आएगा. I feel इस बार this year hydrogen going to be in question paper. Okay, see, Earth's black box. What is Earth's black box? So this is a first kind of setup. Similarly, we have a black box in aeroplanes also. So black box basically records when an aeroplane is going to crash. Black box record at the final stage. Black box record what communication done by the pilots who were sitting in the cockpit. So black box basically record the information. Black box basically record the problem happened in the airplane. Similarly, Earth is going to get its first black box. So remember this Earth black box and where it is being set up. Fine. So this black box to hold a human accountable for climate. Southern side, Tasmanian Island. So it will be constructed in Tasmanian region, which is the southern coast of Australia. Fine. So remember this from prelims point of view. So it is similar to जैसे plane में हमारे recorder होता है, black box होता है. It is similar. Earth, this is Earth's first black box, which is going to record so many information. Because this, see, this is a future preparation. Like if due to this climate change and fury of nature, human race extinct. There is a mass extinction happening. Fine. So if human race get extinct, that means this black box will remain there. And if any other alien or anybody come on the earth, if they get the black box, they can get the information about the earth environment. So this is a future preparation also. Anyways, you need to remember where this is being set up and what is the earth black box all about. So we are going to discuss now few tiger reserve or national park which were in news in December month. There was a Buxa tiger reserve. Where is this Buxa tiger reserve? Remember this Buxa tiger reserve, right? So Buxa tiger reserve is basically in West Bengal. Here this Buxa national park and tiger reserve is situated. So whichever tiger reserve, because there are the number of tiger reserve, national park, wildlife sanctuary, you cannot remember everyone. So remember those who came in news. So this is Buxa tiger reserve national park. Fine. So this came in news in December month 2021. What was the context? An increase in forest density and big cat prey base. Number of tiger and the density of the forest which is increased in Buxa region, due to which this came in news. So here the Royal Bengal tiger, number of Royal Bengal tiger is increasing, and this is very good sign because in Sundarban this Buxa tiger reserve is situated in the northeastern side of West Bengal. After this, here Assam starts. So if we look at the map of the Western Ghat, most of the Royal Bengal tiger are located in the Sundarban region. But now if the number of population increasing Buxa tiger reserve in this Buxa region, that is good for the whole scenario. So in last 20 years, this was the first time, last 23 years, this was the first time when number of the tiger are increasing in this tiger reserve. Fine. And this tiger reserve is basically share the border with international border with Bhutan. So remember this fact also, it is situated on the border of Bhutan. There are Manas tiger reserve which is in Assam, that is also share border with Bhutan. So we have these two tiger reserve which share border with Bhutan, Buxa tiger reserve and the Manas Tiger Reserve. Fine. Then we have Jaldapada National Park, Gorumara National Park, Neora National Park. These national parks share border with Bhutan. And if we talk about the Tiger Reserve, Buksa and Manas Tiger Reserve share border with the Bhutan. So in this aspect, a question may be asked. Fine. Okay. So here major fauna is Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, gaur is a buffalo like, बड़े साइज का buffalo साइज होता है. Clouded leopard is one such attraction of Buksa Tiger Reserve. Clouded leopard बहुत कम नंबर में है. Sambar deer, Indian leopard, these are found in this. And major threat is excessive flooding in Brahmaputra region, due to which the number kept on decreasing in the past 23 years. But this year we have found that number is increasing. And poaching of the elephant for their tusk, उनके दांतों के लिए elephant की poaching की जाती है. These are few threats in this Buksa Tiger Reserve. Next is Beas Conservation Reserve. Beas is basically a river, Beas river, which originate from the Beas Kund, which is in Rohtang Pass. So Beas is one such river of Indus river system, one large river of Indus river system, which basically originate in India and ends in India. It does not enter into the Pakistan. So where is the basically this Beas Conservation Reserve? So if we locate Beas in the map, this is the Beas river. This is the Beas river basically. Beas have many dams also, like Pong Dam, which is situated in Himachal. This is Pong Dam, and here is Beas Conservation Reserve in Punjab. So remember this, where this Beas Conservation Reserve is situated. Beas Conservation Reserve is situated in Punjab, and along with Beas there is a Kanjli wetland, Harike wetland, Harike barrage is there, from where basically Indira Gandhi Canal goes towards Rajasthan. So here the Beas river situated. Pong Dam also situated on Beas river, but Pong Dam is in Himachal. After that Beas enter into Punjab, and here it form few reservoir or wetland. One famous is Beas Conservation Reserve. So remember this Beas Conservation Reserve is situated in Punjab. Fine. So I'll send this file to our Telegram channel. You all go through, all the reserves are there. एक बार इनको मैप में पढ़ लेना है, देख लेना है, ब्रेन में लोकेट हो जाएंगे. ठीक है. So as per the expert, reintroduction of Ghadial, reintroduction. So remember this, reintroduction of Ghadial is happening at various places. Like it is introduced in Odisha region also. Odisha also. It is introduced in Beas Conservation Reserve. So remember this, which all the places where Ghadial is reintroduced. Ghadial is basically reintroduced. I have already told you Ghadial have long snout and one shrouder. इस तरीके का कुबड़ होता है इसका, ठीक है, स्नाउट पे कुबड़ होता है. दिस इज बेसिकली घड़ियाल. घड़ियाल्स आर लार्जली फाउंड इन चंबल रिजर्व एरिया, in Chambal river. So most of the population lies in Chambal region right now, and it is being reintroduced at various places. One such place is Beas Conservation Reserve. So it is almost 185 kilometer of stretch where this reserve is situated. Fine. So remember this from prelims point of view. In 2017, a program was initiated to reintroduce this critically endangered species of Ghadial. So after 2017, it is being introduced in various places, and recent places which were in news, like in Bhitarkanika region of Odisha and Beas Conservation Reserve of Punjab. Fine. So remember these reserve areas. Right now I'm not taking any class over this after prelims I will start. Right now I'm associated with this platform only, Anjana. Fine. And I will let you know all after the prelims examination. I'll start few courses over this platform only. So you keep associated with this platform. So remember this Bias Conservation Reserve. For this year prelims point of view से मैं ये सारा current affair बता रहा हूँ. Now, what is polyaromatic hydrocarbon and why they are in news? Polyaromatic hydrocarbon. Poly मतलब बहुत सारे, aromatic means aroma is there, smell, some fragrance is there. So the government has signed an MOU with IIT Kanpur for a source appointment and forecasting study on air pollution in Delhi, especially for the polyaromatic hydrocarbon. That means polyaromatic hydrocarbon are some pollutant where central government with the help of IIT Kanpur going to conduct some study. Now, so let us know what is polyaromatic hydrocarbon. So the recent study which have performed in Calcutta region, the air is found filled with huge amount of polyaromatic hydrocarbon. So what is basically polyaromatic hydrocarbon? What are their impact over the human health or the overall ecosystem, which we need to know. So some polyaromatic hydrocarbons are like benzene, toluene, xylene, where more than one hydrogen is there. Like in benzene, C6H6, so more than one hydrogen or one carbon, those are called polyaromatic hydrocarbon. Fine, like it is C6H6. So here multiple of carbon and multiple of hydrogen bonds are there. So this is called polyaromatic hydrocarbon. So about this polyaromatic hydrocarbon, because these pollutants are recently being recognized by the international institution like WHO. WHO told that these compounds should not be present in the air at all. Like if ozone is there, methane is there, it is okay. But these polyaromatic hydrocarbons should not be at all there in the air. Otherwise, it will be hazardous for the human health. So what is PAH? PAH are basically how they are produced. First of all, remember this, how they are produced. They are produced by the incomplete combustion of organic material. If we burn the coal, fossil fuel, burn the oil, we burn the wood, और वी बर्न द वो उपले, जो गोबर के उपले बनते हैं उसको भी बर्न करते हैं. इफ यू बर्न एनी ऑर्गेनिक मटेरियल एंड इट इज नॉट बर्न प्रॉपरली, incomplete combustion is done, from there PAH will be produced. Fine. So remember this, from where they are basically produced. So the complete combustion is very much important. Complete combustion is very much important. So many PAH have toxic, mutagenic, means they can mutate your gene, mutagenic and carcinogenic. They can produce cancer. So PAH are highly lipid soluble, means they can enter into the cells also. These are lipid soluble, so they can mix with our body lipid. Fine. And they are absorbed in gastrointestinal tract, means intestine में भी ये जा सकते हैं, और सिर्फ ह्यूमन के नहीं, सारे मैमल्स के. So if they enter into the lipid of human body, they enter into the gastrointestinal tract area, they will remain there for longer period of time and bioaccumulation will happen, means concentration of their amount will keep on increasing, उनका concentration बढ़ता रहेगा PHA का. ठीक है, like toluene, benzene, these are, so wherever more than one carbon and more than one hydrogen is there. Fine. What is the source? There are few natural source and few anthropogenic sources. So from source, UPSC may ask a question. Fine. Okay. So what is the natural source? Like open burning, like forest fire. Forest fire is there. Fine. Natural loss from like seepage area, petroleum or coal deposit area, volcanic activity. Remember this point. From volcanic activity also polyaromatic hydrocarbons are produced. Okay, so from the seepage, natural losses or seepage of petroleum and कोल डिपॉजिट, तो जहां पर भी पेट्रोलियम, ऑयल, गैस, कोल डिपॉजिट्स होते हैं वहां से नेचुरल सीपेज के थ्रू भी पॉलीएरोमेटिक हाइड्रोकार्बन्स प्रोड्यूस होते हैं. एंड from the volcanic activities, the area which is active volcanic area, there also we will find the concentration of polyaromatic hydrocarbon. And naturally in coal, crude oil and gasoline, these are also produced. Okay, for anthropogenic reason if we talk about, कहां से ह्यूमन इसको जनरेट करता है? सो इनकम्प्लीट कंबशन ऑफ एनी फॉसिल फ्यूल लाइक कोल, ऑयल, गैस, वुड, गार्बेज और टोबैको. अब कूड़े में आग लगाने का बहुत कॉमन सा चलन है. इन सिटीज लाइक दिल्ली वी सी दैट नॉर्मली कूड़े में आग लगा दी जाती है, तो वहां पर भी PAH जो है वो प्रोड्यूस होगा. और दीज आर म्यूटोजेनेटिक, दीज कैन म्यूटेट योर जेनेटिक ऑर्डर. कैंसर भी ये प्रोड्यूस करेंगे. एंड द पीपल हु स्मोक दे आर डायरेक्टली इनहेलिंग द एरोमेटिक हाइड्रोकार्बन. सो हाई टेम्परेचर कुकिंग will form PAH in meat and other food. So if we like meat and other food को बहुत ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर पर हम पकाते हैं, then also this will produce. And one important source, remember this, naphthalene balls. Like हम अपने घरों में कपड़ों में रखते हैं naphthalene ball, है ना, कपड़ों को सिल्वर फिश से बचाने के लिए, कीड़े लग जाते हैं उससे बचाने के लिए, we put the naphthalene ball. Basically naphthalene balls also produce, naphthalene ball is a PHA that is produced commercially in the United States and make other chemical. So we know that इनको moth balls भी बोलते हैं. naphthalene ball आप लोग भी अपने घरों में यूज करते होंगे to protect your clothes from the insects. So remember this, वहां से भी हमको polyaromatic hydrocarbons निकलते हैं. ठीक है, बट इफ दे आर, अभी आप कभी देखो जब कपड़ों को उससे निकालो तो कपड़ों में एक स्मेल होती है, दैट वो स्मेल जो है वो पॉलीएरोमेटिक हाइड्रोकार्बन्स की है. सो बेंजीन हो गया, बेंजीन इज वेरी कॉमन, टॉलुइन, xylene, these three are very common polyaromatic hydrocarbons. Now coming to the January month current affair, January month environmental current affair. Today we will cover December and January month. Now one important term which was in news, environmental DNA. What is environmental DNA? DNA तो ह्यूमन के अंदर होता है, एनवायरमेंट का DNA का क्या मतलब है? What is the meaning of environmental DNA? So some researchers, they have created one study pattern through which they will try to find out the DNA which are called eDNA. They will try to find out the DNA which are available in environment. Like if any mammal is roaming around the grassland, वो उसका सलाइवा वहां पर गिरता है, अगर वो वहां पे गोबर करता है तो उसमें कुछ DNA जो है वो environment में आ जाते हैं, and they will, those DNAs will remain there for longer period of time. So these scientists or researchers, they will try to find out those DNA which are basically are available in environment and identify, they will try to identify that which animal or which flora or fauna, which animal was basically lived here. So through this method they will try to find out which species is still found in this ecosystem right now and which already have been extinct. Fine. So it could help understand the composition of animal community. Like perhaps there are few communities, DNA of eDNA, environmental DNA of one species is there in our surrounding, and those animals lived here for let's say millions of the year ago. And if we find out the DNA, so then we'll get to know that this ecosystem sometimes supported this particular species. Fine. So this will make us understand composition of animal community, their spread, which are the native species, which are the non-native species. Native and non-native भी इससे हमको पता चल जाएगा. Fine. So in its current form, this method cannot provide accurate data for population census. Yes, this may not produce accurate data, but this will definitely give us information about the native, non-native species which existed in any ecosystem, and on the basis of that we can also guess the changes happened into the ecosystem. Let's suppose in the particular area, if in a particular area we find the DNA of one such species which basically live in ocean, and right now here no ocean, there is no ocean. That means if such species is found here at millions of the year back, that means this area must be under the ocean in the past, है ना, ये कभी ना कभी ओशन के नीचे जरूर रहा होगा. So this is how we can guess about the evolution of the ecosystem, the changes or the climatic changes happened in the ecosystem. We can guess these things also. Rakesh, खुश रहिए Rakesh. Fine. So what is environmental DNA? We will find out those free DNAs lying in the environment, and on the basis of that eDNA or sequencing of their DNA, उसके बेसिस पर हम गेस करेंगे कि कौन कौन सी स्पीसीज यहाँ पर कभी एग्जिस्ट रही होंगी, ये नेटिव है या नहीं है, नॉन नेटिव है. सो इट इज द डीएनए दैट कलेक्ट फ्रॉम द वैरायटी ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल सैंपल, लाइक सॉइल से मिलेगा, सी वाटर से मिल सकता है, स्नो में मिल सकता है, और एयर में मिल सकता है. फाइन. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दिस, लाइक एनिमल के सलाइवा, ब्रेथ, है ना, फिकस मटीरियल, म्यूकस, गैमीट्स, डेड स्किन्स आर देयर. सो इन सब में, कार्कस में, हेयर में, इन सब में डीएनए जो है वो हमको मिलेगा. देन वी विल गेट द डीएनए एंड डू द eDNA metabar coding. So metabar coding will be performed, and on the basis of metabar coding कहाँ से मिला है, so like this species was here or not, this species was here or not, इसका कैसे DNA available हुआ है. This is how we will scientists are going to prepare a complete chart of every ecosystem, that these DNAs are found here. Right now this species is not available here. उसका डीएनए तो है पर वो स्पीसीज अब यहाँ पर नहीं है, मतलब एक्सटिंक्ट हो चुकी है इस इकोसिस्टम से. ऑल दीज थिंग्स, सो इससे बेटर इन्फॉर्म्ड डिसीजन मिल पाएगा, प्रोटेक्शन मिल पाएगा, और इसमें बेसिकली पीसीआर परफॉर्म किया जाएगा. पॉलीमरेज चेन रिएक्शन जो अभी हम कोरोना की टेस्टिंग में भी जो है वो पीसीआर, पॉलीमरेज चेन रिएक्शन डीएनए का, इसी बेसिस पर हम कोरोना को भी डिटेक्ट कर रहे थे. तो इस तरीके की स्टडी यहां पर परफॉर्म किए जाएगी. सो रिमेंबर व्हाट इज eDNA और एनवायरमेंटल डीएनए. फाइन. ओके, नाउ वी विल सी few species which were in news, especially for the prelims point of view. So red sander was in news due to the movie made Pushpa. But not only due to the movie this is in news, UPSC already have asked question from red sandalwood. Fine. So red sandalwood or red sandalwood, this smuggling of this particular wood were the center of the plot movie that Pushpa movie produced. Fine. So this red sandalwood was fallen back into endangered category in IUCN. So IUCN has listed red sandalwood as endangered category. So you need to remember that where this red sandalwood is found and why and what are the problems. Why this came into the only poaching is only smuggling of this wood is not the cause. So red sandalwood was a small tree, not very big tree जैसे मूवी में दिखाया बहुत बड़े बड़े ट्री नहीं, बहुत बड़े बड़े ट्री नहीं होते, स्मॉल ट्री होते हैं. हैबिटेट like tropical dry deciduous forest में, tropical dry deciduous forest, this is a deciduous plant, and it is native and endemic plant to India and basically found in Eastern Ghat region, southern part of Eastern Ghat region, Palkonda hill region, Seshachalam hill region, Andhra Pradesh, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, Karnataka. These are the 4 states where we largely found. In Andhra Pradesh, they are found in huge amount. Andhra Pradesh में ये सबसे ज़्यादा large amount में पाए जाते हैं. They have the various use in furniture, in pigment making, in the various instrument making. So they are basically exported to East Asian countries. Red sandalwood timber is used for carving, furniture, poles, house posts, and especially they are used in producing xanthalene. Remember this particular word. What is xanthalene? Xanthalene. Xanthalene is basically the red pigment which is extracted from this wood, and this red pigment is used in dye or other colorant in food. So for the food item, this pigment which is extracted from sandalwood is also used. Fine. So this is used in medicine also. This red pigment, xanthalene, is used in food item also, used in medicines also, used in cosmetic also. It has the multiple uses. So this red sandalwood is found in southern part of India. Sandalwood is a deciduous. This is a different from. इसका कलर जो है रेड होगा. सैंडलवुड का कलर ब्राउन होगा, नॉर्मल सैंडलवुड का इसका कलर जो है वो रेड होगा. सो दिस इज फाउंड बेसिकली in this region, fine, and in some part of Kerala also this is found. Now this is categorized as endangered. Appendix 2 of CITES means इसका smuggling बिना permission के इसका trade restricted है. Now what is the major cause due to which these trees are dying basically? So one major cause is the smuggling, but another major cause is phytoplasm bacterial parasites. So remember this, not only the smuggling is the cause, but phytoplasm bacterial parasite which are basically destroying the tissue of the plant, and it is transmitted by the insects to the plant. Insects are the basically vectors which are found here. And why the insects are increasing? In the nearby city, garbage dump areas are increasing. So this sandalwood spike disease, this basically is called sandalwood spike disease, SSD. This is one major cause which is basically reducing the number of sandalwood trees. Sandalwood spike disease caused by the phytoplasma bacterial parasites. These parasites are being carried out by insects. These are the vectors basically, and reducing the number of the trees. Fine. So remember this, and due to which it came into the endangered list of IUCN. So two major cause. One is the sandalwood spike disease. Fine. This sandalwood spike disease and illegal trading of sandalwood. These two causes which brought them into endangered list. Next species in news, which is a mammal named as whale shark. We know that whale is a mammal, shark is a fish. So why both are together? Whale shark. Why this name is given? Whale shark. What is the meaning of whale shark? So whale is different, shark is different. But this is basically a shark. This is a rare shark species. Its name is Rhincodon. Its name is Rhincodon. In common term or informally, it is called as whale shark. Now this shark is basically of huge size. That is why it is called whale shark. Formally, its name is Rhincodon. So in Andhra Pradesh region, in Andhra Pradesh, the Andhra Pradesh Forest Department, it has started the conservation project of whale shark or Rhincodon, which is basically a largest in shark family. So this is basically not a mammal. This is a fish. Whale is a mammal. Fine. So it is found everywhere. This is the picture of this. It is found almost everywhere, but its number is continuously decreasing. So Andhra Pradesh government, Andhra Pradesh Forest Department started a conservation project. What are the major threat basically? Major threat is they are caught and killed for their liver oil. इनसे लिवर कॉड ऑयल बनाया जाता है. हम इवन जब लिवर वीक होता है तो लिवर कॉड ऑयल ह्यूमन टैबलेट यूज करते हैं. एंड फॉर देयर फिन्स, they are smuggled for their fins also. So they have considered as endangered species under IUCN Wildlife Protection Act में Schedule 1 में है, Appendix 2 of sites. That means इनका भी illegal trading नहीं हो सकता है. Though नहीं हो सकता है, but it is happening. That is why their number is decreasing. Fine. Their number is also decreasing due to the quality of water being polluted. Next species which is in news, water hyacinth. This is commonly we all know. इसको आप लोगों ने देखा होगा commonly. This is water hyacinth. Water hyacinth basically this is posing threat to fish farming, aquaculture. So we all have seen this particular plant, water hyacinth. So from where it came into India? So this is basically not a endemic species. This a invasive species. अब अपने घरों में in especially in village areas, तालाबों में they are normally spread out. So this is basically a ornamentative plant which is brought by the Britishers in India. So earlier it was brought in Bangladesh. So water hyacinth is now threat to aquaculture and fish. So it is an aquatic plant native to Amazon basin. Remember this? This is native to Amazon basin. Here it is a highly invasive species and creating huge problem. So what are the problem it is creating? It is also known as terror of Bengal. It is also known as terror of Bengal, German weed or Florida devil. These names are also given. And in Sri Lanka, it is name given Japanese trouble. Because Sri Lanka में Japanese इसको लेकर के आए थे. So what is the habitat? They are basically native to tropical and subtropical Southern America region. It is an invasive weed. Remember, this is a weed. Weed घास फूस जैसे होती है. This is a weed, draining oxygen from the water very rapidly. And due to depletion of oxygen from the water, fishes generally die where these are spread. ये बहुत तेजी से spread हो जाते हैं. They cover whole water body. ऊपर से पूरी water body को cover कर लेंगे. They will use the oxygen of the water body and use the sunlight and do the photosynthesis. So photosynthesis बहुत तेजी से करेंगे and इनका जो area है वो बहुत तेजी से increase हो जाता है. So it has a great potential. So one side it is threat to our aquaculture, it is threat to our ecosystem, but on the other side we can use it for economical purpose also. Like this water hyacinth has a great potential in making of paper. इसको निकाल करके हम इससे पेपर बना सकते हैं. Fine, is one potential which we can utilize. Fine. So not only in India, countries like Bangladesh, Fiji, they are also studying to produce biogas from the this water hyacinth. So इससे we can make the paper, we can make the biogas. Fine. One, I personally believe that इसके use से question आ सकता है. Question may ask from the use. UPSC may ask what are the probable use of water hyacinth. UPSC may ask the question. So अब चूंकि this is a organic material, so definitely we can produce the organic biogas. We can make the biodiesel also perhaps. Fine. So we can make the fuel. Definitely we can make the fuel. So we can make the biogas. One more important thing, it absorbs the heavy metals. Heavy metals. If heavy metal is available in the water, it will absorb the heavy metals like cadmium, nickel, mercury. So it can also reduce the mercury pollution from the water body. So this is very much important. If cadmium, nickel and mercury is absorbed from the water and they concentrate in this plant, we can extract cadmium, mercury, nickel from the plant. So in the water bodies which are polluted with the cadmium, mercury and nickel like heavy metal, we can utilize this plant to extract and make the water body free from these pollutants. Fine. तो हम ये काम भी इनसे कर सकते हैं. Then we can reclaim the valuable metal. So whereas this is an invasive species destroying the ecosystem, but this can also utilize in a positive way. See, everything has its own use. Fine. So the manatee, herbivorous aquatic mammal, is used to control the water hyacinth as well as other vegetation. So there is one aquatic mammal like आपने देखा होगा, we have studied about that sea cow, dugong. Dugong is also a manatee animal. They also eat this grass. Otherwise, other mammals do not eat this grass. Fine. So manatee kind of mammals, they are used to remove this grass because they eat these grasses very easily. Fine. So like manatee species like dugong belongs to the manatee family. Habitats, manatee species का habitat कहाँ पर होता है? They normally live near the sea areas. Indian sea areas में देखें, dugong was twice or thrice in news this year. Fine. Okay. So remember this thing where all this, in which all sector this can be used. Water hyacinth. See, because this cover the whole water body. This reduce the oxygen level because this act as a like eutrophied element. Eutrophication करता है ये. Fine. So remember this water hyacinth. Next species which were in news, a mammal, dugong, which is called sea cow. They basically, these mammal, dugong, they basically give birth, milking करते हैं, बच्चों को अपने दूध पिलाते हैं. These dugongs depends upon the sea grasses which basically grow at the bottom of the ocean. तो जो less deep areas होते हैं वहां पर they basically eat these sea grasses and they also eat the water hyacinth plant, जो hyacinth plant अभी हमने discuss किया. Fine. So why this time it is news? Gulf of Mannar region, Andaman Nicobar Island and Gulf of Kutch region where this is found, basically this animal is going to be protected. Dugong once habited in Odisha, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh, but अब Odisha, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh के coastal region में they are not found. They extincted from those areas. So इनका conservation is being done in the Gulf of Mannar region and Andaman Nicobar region and Gulf of Kutch region where they are basically found. Fine. So here we are protecting this. They are included into the conservation of migratory species list. CMS list में भी इनको include कर लिया गया है. What is the major threat? Major threat is basically the pollution. Due to the pollution, sea grasses are reducing and they depend upon the sea grasses. They eat the sea grasses. तो food loss हो रहा है, habitat loss हो रहा है, poaching हो रही है, means unsustainable hunting इनकी हो रही है. So due to which these dugongs are बेसिकली इंडिया में इनका पॉपुलेशन काफी कम हो चुका है. IUCN रेड लिस्ट में ये वल्नरेबल है, बहुत जल्दी इनको प्रोटेक्ट नहीं किया गया तो वी विल लूज देयर पॉपुलेशन. इंडिया में दे आर बीइंग प्रोटेक्टेड इन गल्फ ऑफ मन्नार एंड अंडमान निकोबार रीजन. फाइन. एंड दे आर फाउंड इन गल्फ ऑफ कच्छ रीजन आल्सो. नेक्स्ट is fly catcher bird. This is a fly catcher bird. Fine. This is in news, fly catcher bird. Why this is in news? Basically, they there are two flycatcher birds. One black and orange flycatchers, and second is Nilgiri flycatcher. Nilgiri flycatcher. So it is noted that their numbers reduced drastically. Fine. And their area where they are basically found, that area is also getting reduced. So it is said that black and orange flycatcher could lose up to 31% and Nilgiri flycatcher lose up to 46% of its range by 2050. The way we are basically using the Western Ghat region, the way we are like tea plantation is growing. So these flycatchers, why they are called flycatchers? Because while flying they catch the insect. बैठ के नहीं खाते हैं, उड़ते हुए इंसेक्ट्स को कैच करते रहते हैं. That is why they are called the flycatcher. So this is orange, black and orange flycatcher. इनका जो एरिया है हैबिटेट बहुत तेजी से लॉस हो रहा है, एंड हैबिटेट लॉस इज वन मेजर रीजन ऑफ स्पीसीज टू गेट एक्सटिंक्ट. सो इनके लिए वार्निंग जारी की गई है that we have to protect the area of the fly catchers. These are the fly catchers. So they are insectivorous bird species found in the Western Ghat region. You can remember this. Anamalai, Nilgiri region, they are found there basically. Fine. So due to the climate change, habitat loss, anthropogenic reason की वजह से habitat loss हो रहा है, जिससे इनकी संख्या जो है बहुत तेजी से कम हो रही है. Though they are least concerned right now, but soon they come into endangered category. Now, next is aquamation. What is aquamation? What is aquamation? Fine. So remember this word aquamation. So one archbishop or the religious preacher whose name is Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu. He is the person who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner also. Desmond Tutu, recently his last cremation was performed, but his cremation was different. How his cremation was different? Now normally there are few cremation techniques which are in use, like complete cremation by burning, or like उनको अंदर नीचे मिट्टी में दबा देना, बॉडी को क्रिमेशन करना. फाइन. और द इनकम्प्लीट क्रिमेशन, half cremation, like in the Iranian culture, putting the dead body in open area so that scavengers like crow, vultures, they can eat the flesh of the body, and the remaining part is cremated. So there are these cremation methods which are basically in prevalence, which are basically used worldwide. But now new cremation method which is called aquamation, where is basically body is cremated in such a manner that it does not produce any pollution. Like this is called green cremation, also climate friendly cremation method. In this method, basically body is submerged into the water, and that water is mixed with alkali material, with alkali, है ना. जैसे एक होते एसिड, एक होते बेस. सो एल्कलाई मटेरियल में बॉडी को सबमर्ज कर देते हैं. फाइन. एंड इट इज पुट इनटू अ प्रेशराइज्ड मेटल सिलेंडर अराउंड 150 डिग्री. सो हियर बेसिकली लेस एनर्जी is used. Wood is not used for cremation purpose. Fine. So it will not produce any carbon dioxide. So this cremation method will, like, it will not cover the part of the land. Land area भी capture नहीं होगा, है ना. अगर हम बॉडी को क्रिमेट करते हैं, लैंड में उसको दफना देते हैं, तो वहां पर लैंड एरिया हमारा रिस्ट्रिक्ट हो जाता है. सो थ्रू दिस मेथड देयर इज अ जीरो वेस्ट क्रिएटेड. फाइन. सो इन alkali material and in a metal pressurized box the body is submerged and gradually the combination of gentle water flow, temperature and alkali exchanger break down of the organic material. body का सारा organic material जो है break down हो जाएगा and within few hours that will convert into the fragmented natural liquid. That is why it is called aquamation. Because it is performed with the help of water. This process leaves behind bone fragments and natural liquids called effluent. So bones are basically remaining there. The decomposition that occur into alkali hydrolysis is the same which occur during the burial, just speed is increased through the chemical process. जैसे आप हम मिट्टी में गाड़ देते हैं तो वो काफी लंबे समय में होगा, here speed जो है वो बहुत तेजी से increase हो जाएगी. So there is no tissue or no DNA left after this process. Remember this point, no tissue or DNA will left over. In aquamation, no tissue or DNA will left over. Fine. Okay, talking about next topic which is in news. This is a species Euronema africum borge. This is basically a microalgae. Why it is being used, for what purpose it can be used? Euronema africum borge, basically a microalgae which can digest the low density plastic sheet. So we can utilize this to remove the plastic pollution. Only this point you need to remember. So this species basically produce the enzyme hormone and some enzyme hormones which slowly dissolve the low density plastic sheet. Remember this, low density. If the density high, this won't work basically. Fine. So they disintegrate into monomers. Polymers से उनको monomers में convert कर देते हैं. Then we can easily remove the plastic. So this is basically, they are basically commonly found in Africa, Asia and European region. These are the microalgae. Water body में होते हैं these microalgae. So from ocean, we can use them to treat the ocean, remove the plastic pollution from the ocean. Euronema africum borge, they can be used for treat the plastic pollution. Next important current affair, ecological threat report. This is important. What is ecological threat report, IEP? It is produced by Institute of Economic and Peace. Remember this is an ecological report, but it is produced by an economic institution, Institute of Economics and Peace, IEP. So ये point remember रखिए. Ecological threat report is produced by IEP, Institute of Economic Peace, has recently released this ecological threat report, and this is basically the second edition of ecological threat report, which cover 178 independent nation and territories. This ecological threat report is unique because it combines economy and ecology. Fine. Right now Modi ji also talking about the economy and ecology together. We have to make a stronger economy, but in such a way that it does not affect our ecology. Fine. So growth bhi और ecology का protection bhi. So this basically include the comprehensive ecological data to shed light on the countries least likely to cope up with extreme ecological shocks. So here it basically produces one important thing, that it combines measure of resilience with the most comprehensive ecological data available to shed light on the countries least likely to cope up. Which are the countries which are least likely to cope up with the ecological losses or the ecological changes? Fine. सो ये ऐसी कंट्रीज को बताते हैं कि ये कंट्री कोप अप नहीं कर पाएगी, दे आर नॉट रेडी टू कोप अप. It analyzes risk from pollution growth, population growth, water stress, food insecurity, drought, flood, cyclone, rising temperature, and all these how they are going to affect the food security of the population. So the countries who are highly vulnerable to the ecological losses and changes, countries where the natural disaster may bring the food crisis, they basically recognize those countries. Fine. This IEP, Institute for Economy and Peace, also this is an international think tank. This is not any organization run by government. This is an international think tank. If it is a think tank, that there must be some economist, ecologist, environmentalist, sab isme honge. This is a think tank. It also produces few other reports like Global Peace Index and Global Terrorism Index. So ecological, apart from producing ecological threat report, they also produce Global Peace Index and Terrorism Index. This thing also important, you can remember. Fine. Then let us see the Tiger Reserve or the National Park which were in news in month of January. Anamalai Tiger Reserve. Why? Earlier its name was Indira Gandhi Reserve. Anamalai Tiger Reserve, where it is situated basically, remember this? It is situated here near the Tamil Nadu and Kerala border. Anamalai Tiger Reserve. It is a national park also. Earlier its name was Indira Gandhi Tiger Reserve. Now its name is Anamalai Tiger Reserve. Fine. So this is basically located in Anamalai Hill of Coimbatore district of Tamil Nadu. So this is largely situated in Tamil Nadu. Vegetation की हम बात करें तो here wet evergreen forest. Now what is the issue why it is in news? Here basically shola forest are found. Remember this? Shola forest. Shola forest are basically the grasslands which are found in southern side at the high altitude. Like Nilgiri hill पर पाए जाएंगे, अन्नामलाई, कार्डमम, they are found over the hill region. तो यहां पर टेम्परेचर कम होगा, हाइट पर होंगे, so टेम्परेचर कम and heavy rainfall. So though there is a rainfall, huge rainfall, fine, less temperature, but there is no dense forest. So shola forest are basically the mountain grasslands. These sholas are the mountain grassland. They are not the rain forest. Though rain happens, यहाँ पर huge rain होती है. So here the shola forest are basically due to human activities. Shola forest जो है वो काफी डिस्ट्रक्ट हो रहे हैं. माइनिंग क्वेरिंग एक्टिविटीज के कारण सोला फॉरेस्ट जो है वो काफी डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो रहे हैं. ठीक है, डिस्ट्रॉय हो रहे हैं. दैट इज व्हाई दिस वाज इन न्यूज. मेजर species which are found here like Bengal tiger, Indian elephant, Indian leopard, Nilgiri thar, loin tail macaque, which is very unique species here, loin tail macaque. They are not found anywhere else. Gaur, bison like. So these are found here. Fine. Rusty spotted cat, Indian giant squirrel, bonnet macaque, these are found here. And these shola forests are basically being destroyed due to the tea and coffee plantation and tourism. टी कॉफी प्लांटेशन एंड टूरिज्म मेजर इशू है यहां पर. ठीक है, सो रिमेंबर दिस वाज इन न्यूज. नेक्स्ट इज चिलिका लेक. चिलिका लेक इज अ वेरी कॉमन थिंग, आई थिंक एवरीबडी स्टडी अबाउट, बट कैन एनीबडी टेल मी विच रिवर सप्लाई द वाटर टू द चिलिका लेक? Which river supply the water to the Chilka Lake? So Chilka Lake is the brackish water lagoon. How the lagoon is found? When there is a sandbar island is formed. Fine. Due to any kind of impact, sandbar produced and the water of the sea is separated from the main water. Sea का water main water से separate हो जाए due to any kind of partition. Like corals भी इस तरीके की partition कर सकते हैं. Sandbar islands can be formed here. और एनी ड्यू टू एनी वोल्केनिक एक्टिविटी भी ऐसे लगून्स फॉर्म हो सकते हैं. सो दे आर द बेसिकली लगून्स आर मोस्टली फॉर्म्ड इन द कोस्टल रीजन ओनली. So it is a brackish water lagoon at the mouth of Dayar River. Remember this thing. This lagoon is situated at the mouth of Dayar River. Now, it is the largest coastal lagoon in India. This is largest coastal lagoon in India. Birds from Caspian Sea, Lake Baikal, Aral Sea, and other part of Central Asian region, they come here. They come here. First they come to Leh Ladakh, Himalaya, and they come here. So in 1981, Chilka Lake was designated first Indian wetland of international importance. Ramsar Convention में first wetland जो इंडिया का include किया गया, that was basically Chilka Lake wetland. But now gradually this wetland is being threatened. Nalbana bird sanctuary is the core area of Ramsar designated Chilka Lake. यहाँ पर एक bird sanctuary है which name is Nalbana. I show you the location. Fine. This is Chilka Lake basically. This is Bhitarkanika. This is Chilka. It is situated at the mouth of Daya River. Fine. So Nalbana Wildlife Sanctuary Chilka Lake में situated है. And here this is famous for Irrawaddy dolphin. Irrawaddy dolphin is the flagship species of Chilka Lake, which is uniquely found here. Chilka Lake is is the only home to Irrawaddy dolphin in India. Normally Irrawaddy dolphins are found in Myanmar region, Irrawaddy river mein, but here only Chilka Lake is their home. So you can remember these things. Next national park or the wildlife sanctuary is in news is Kuno Palpur National Park. Kuno Palpur is one such national park where basically big cats are being introduced. Two big cats are being introduced. Earlier here lion was introduced, now tiger is being introduced here. It is located in Shivpur and Morena district of Madhya Pradesh. I show you the location first. Kuno Palpur. Fine. Here it is a Kuno Palpur Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park. Fine. So remember this, it is situated in Madhya Pradesh. Why this is in news? Because earlier here loin were introduced. UPSC already have asked question from loin's perspective. यहाँ पे loin को introduce किया गया था. Now cheetah is being introduced at this site. Fine. So this is the center for cheetah reintroduction project in India. Cheetahs are basically extincted from India. They are found in Africa. So few cheetahs, male and female, are brought from Africa and they will be here in Kuno National Park, so that in India we can again revive the population of cheetahs. Fine. So it is a part of Katiyar Gir dry deciduous forest ecoregion. Fine. Fauna here leopard, wolf, jackal, these all are found basically, and two big cat, tiger, cheetah, and cheetah is different from the tiger, remember, huh? Cheetah की body पे spot होते हैं, gold spot होते हैं. So cheetah और वो यहाँ पे introduce किए गए. Okay. Next topic is biomining of solid waste. What is the biomining basically? Remember this term. What is the biomining? Fine. Okay. So 3,000 tons of waste to be handled per day at Brahmanpuram waste plant. Fine. So there is a waste plant, Brahmapuram waste plant in Kochi, and here 3,000 tons of waste is being handled by using biomining. So what is the meaning of biomining? What is the meaning of biomining? What are the importance and impact of the biomining? So biomining is basically nothing but use of bacterias. Bacterias are the mixed blessing. Why these are mixed blessing? Because bacteria on the one hand can produce so many diseases, But on the other hand, bacteria are very useful. Like if we eat dahi, we are eating bacteria. Bacteria hamari, so there are the good bacteria, there are the bad bacteria. So bacteria can be used in biomining. Fine. So biomining is a technique of extracting metals like copper, uranium, nickel, gold from ores and other solid materials, typically using prokaryotic fungi or the plants. Fine. So if we use the prokaryotic bacteria, fungi, if we use them, what they will do basically, they will extract the metals. Like if there is an electronic waste, यहाँ पे एक बहुत बड़ा electronic waste garbage area है. Now if we put bacteria here, they will basically melt and extract. Like copper is melted और copper melt होकर के नीचे आ जाएगा, copper dissolve होकर के नीचे आ जाएगा, and we can extract the copper from here. No other thing, segregators or machinery is required to do this. So this biomining is performed. This is used for mining activities or solid waste को भी segregate करने के लिए we can use them. Fine. Use of bacteria for the mining activity. Okay. So these organisms secrete different organic compound, and those compound basically dissolve these metals. So bioleaching, when the metal of interest is directly dissolved in the biomining process. अब ये नीचे water उसके होगा, उस water में dissolve होकर के आ जाएंगे, and from the water we can extract them. Bio-oxidation, metal which are not dissolved by the microbes. So in the biomining, basically bioleaching, this method use microbe to break down the surrounding material. Fine. So here with the help of bacteria, we performed a bioleaching kind of activity, and through which we extract certain material. अब इसमें क्या होगा, हमको बहुत ज़्यादा ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी का ज़रूरत नहीं होगा, ह्यूमन मशीनरीज का हमको इंस्टॉलेशन की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. वी नीड टू सप्लाई सच बैक्टीरियाज ओनली. अब ये जैसे एक वेस्ट, दिस इज अ वेस्ट सेटअप, ये वेस्ट है, इस वेस्ट को हमने कवर कर दिया है मिट्टी पॉलीथीन से, इसमें माइक्रोब्स को डाल दिया है, दोज प्रोकैरियोटिक बैक्टीरियाज, एंड देयर इज अ सप्लाई ऑफ वाटर. सो ग्रेजुअली दोज मेटल विल डिसॉल्व एंड कम अराउंड दिस फरो, इधर किनारे किनारे इसमें जमा हो जाएगा, एंड फ्रॉम हियर वी कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट. फाइन. So this is basically called the bioleaching. So what is the advantages? Advantage is basically these mining methods are climate friendly. First of all, it would not produce so much of pollution. So this is a climate friendly model. Traditional methods of mining like explosive use करना, toxic chemicals use करना, high temperature blasting use करना, those method basically disturb the ecosystem and environment. Fine. So this is one useful method which we can use, but at the same time it has some risk also. So the greater environmental risks are related to the leakage and treatment of acidic metal rich solution, because जब metal मेल्ट होगा तो मेटल जो है इट हैज सम एसिडिक वैल्यू. सो इफ द लीकेज ऑफ दिस थिंग हैपन, लीकेज ऑफ दिस एसिडिक मेटल रिच सॉल्यूशन क्रिएटेड बाय द माइक्रोब व्हिच इज सिमिलर टू द एसिड माइन ड्रेनेज, इफ इट इज लीच टू द ग्राउंड वाटर को पोल्यूट कर सकता है. इफ इट इज गो टू द रिवर को पोल्यूट करेगा. लाइक इन दोज, अब यहां पर भी बहुत सारा ऐसे मटेरियल्स रहते हैं जिनको हम एक्सट्रैक्ट कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज इंडिया में अनट्रीटेड गार्बेज प्लांट्स आर देयर, अनट्रीटेड गार्बेज आर स्टोर्ड एट वन प्लेस. तो यहां पर भी हम बायोलीचिंग यूज कर सकते हैं. फाइन. सो यू कैन रिमेंबर दिस टर्म, व्हाट इज बायोमाइनिंग. नेक्स्ट करंट अफेयर विच आई मार्क वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, I mark this current affair very important, is air quality guidelines of WHO. After so many years, WHO has revised its air quality guidelines. So as it happened after so many years, so I personally feel this is important from prelims point of view. So what is World Health Organization? WHO हम सब जानते होंगे, कोरोना पीरियड में तो और WHO का नाम हमने सुन लिया है. So it is released an updated version of global air quality guideline. So what is the guideline of WHO regarding this? Last update happened almost 16 years back. 2005 में last when this report was updated in 2005. Fine, it was updated in 2005. So WHO's new guideline basically covers 6 pollutants as air pollution. 6 pollutants. So remember this thing. As per the WHO's new air quality guidelines, how many pollutants are recognized? Fine. So how many pollutants are recognized? PM 2.5, PM 10, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Fine. So the new guidelines are based on the marked increase in scientific evidence of air pollution. Last time it was updated in 2005 and this time WHO recognized 6 pollutants: PM 2.5, PM 10, ozone, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and carbon monoxide. Remember this, here no methane, no carbon dioxide is there. Fine, only these 6 gases are recognized in this WHO's air pollution guideline. Fine, तो ये UPSC definitely पूछ सकता है because after 17 years it has been revised. So at the release of new air quality guidelines, WHO noted that some air pollutants, particularly black carbon is also component of PM particle. So how black carbon is produced? Black carbon is produced when we burn the fossil fuel like coal, petroleum. We burn the fossil fuel, the black carbon is produced. So black carbon particle is also PM particle. Fine. And tropospheric ozone. So this year, the new air quality guideline, WHO noted some air pollutants like black carbon or the component of PM and tropospheric ozone. Fine. So are short-lived climate pollutant which are linked with the both health effect and the global warming also. So black carbon is being produced due to the increased use of fossil fuel. Fine. And ozone is basically the nitrogen pollution. It is a resultant of nitrogen pollution. Fine. So these 3 things, these 6 pollutants, you need to cram it down. Rat daliye isko. Okay. Impact of new guidelines in India. New air quality guidelines means that nearly entire India would be considered as a polluted zone because ये तो सभी जगहों पर है. Fine. Even in Himalayan region also black carbon is there because black carbon which is produced from the cities like Chandigarh, Delhi, all black carbon goes to the Himalayan region. And वो black carbon क्या है? PM particle है. Even the brown carbon. What is the difference between black carbon and brown carbon? Brown carbon is basically produced through the incomplete combustion of organic material or biomass. Like if you burn wood, it will not produce black carbon. Burning gobar ka upla, this will basically produce the brown carbon. Fine. Both have the similar kind of health impact. So after this guideline, almost all the cities of India will come under the polluted list. The new इंडिया में अब इसके लिए ज्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा. WHO's guidelines are not binding. Remember this thing, guidelines है. These are the guidelines. So when are the guidelines, मतलब you can follow in the, अगर आपको pollution कम करना है तो these are the guidelines you have to go along with. So the move doesn't immediately impact India as a national. India has a national air quality, ambient air quality standard. Don't meet the WHO's existing standard. हमारा जो अभी स्टैंडर्ड है वो WHO के एग्जिस्टिंग स्टैंडर्ड को मीट आउट नहीं करता है. सो प्रोबेबली इंडियन गवर्नमेंट कम अप विद न्यू नेशनल एम्बिएंट एयर क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड इन कमिंग ईयर. नेक्स्ट ईयर तक ये शायद इंडिया का चेंज हो जाए और इसमें नए पॉल्यूटेंट्स जो है वो हमारे एड ऑन हो जाए. फाइन. ओके, दिस वाज द environmental current affair of December and January, and tomorrow we will cover up February, March, April, almost environmental current affair. I'll finish the environmental current affair till April by tomorrow. Fine. I had a planning to finish it within 31st of May, but due to some delay. So like this session, share this session, and subscribe to Analyst Ias YouTube channel. Get connected with us. Tomorrow I'll start February, March and April environmental current affair. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow.